So, you open Google Chrome on your phone, you're rushing to buy tickets to a concert that all your friends are going to. Picture yourself now, crowd surfing to the front, being invited onto the stage, backstage the world tour, and before you know it, you're dancing in Tokyo. Wait, what? 3 tickets left? It's a good thing your saved payment details autofill quickly and securely. There's no place like Chrome. Download Google Chrome on your phone.
This is the Mistress Carrie Situation Report for April 10th, 2023. Your daily entertainment headlines, industry info, and everything rock. For the first time in the show's history, one musical guest is set to take over an entire week of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Metallica Week kicks off tonight and wraps up on Thursday, April 13th. In addition to their musical performances, the band is going to sit down for an interview with Jimmy Kimmel tonight, and will be featured in a comedy segment later in the week. The band is supporting their new album 72 Seasons, which comes out this Friday. They'll also be premiering the entire album worldwide in movie theaters coming up on Thursday night. In a recent interview, the band's bass player Robert Trujillo admitted that Metallica fans don't like it when the band takes things in a more experimental direction. Saying, quote, "Metallica fans, I get it. They're the best fans in the world, in my opinion, but they love us so much that they get pissed off at us when we try different things. It always seems to be like the band bounces back, and somehow we are able to make the right statement in their mind. I get it because I'm that way with groups that I like." In the same interview, Lars Ulrich said, "You have to keep finding different ways to stay engaged. You force yourself to keep coming up with new ways to do it, and you don't fall into autopilot or traps of being stuck in a cage. We love what we do, and we love being engaged. We love what we do with each other. We feel like we're making a difference for the fans and the audience." Dee Snider and Twisted Sister have been getting a lot of attention recently. "We're Not Gonna Take It" was used by Ukrainian soldiers as a rallying cry against Russia. And more recently, Dee Snider was just unmasked as the doll on The Masked Singer. And politicians of all sides have co-opted the band's song for their political means, and starting next year, Twisted Sister says they're going to do the same. While elections are raging across the United States, Dee Snider and the guys said they're planning to play at various political rallies around the country. Former Ace Frehley and Peter Frampton bassist John Regan passed away on Friday at the age of 71. He passed at his Wappingers Fall home in Poughkeepsie, New York. No cause of death was given at the time. John was a member of Frehley's Comet from 1984 through 1990, having recorded 3 albums with the former Kiss guitar player. He also toured with Peter Frampton and appeared on many of the guitarist's albums in a partnership spanning several decades, beginning with 1980's Rise Up. Peter Frampton wrote, "There might be only a handful, if that, of people who came into your world and truly enrich your life. I have lost one of my closest buddies. He certainly enriched my life because of the person and the great player that he was. John Regan was the best of us. He went out of his way to help people when things weren't right. It didn't matter who you were, Prince or Pauper. I know there were many of you out there who knew him. He was a friend to all. Always musically inspiring and one of the funniest people on the planet. My thoughts are with his wife, Kathy, his children, Christopher and Janice, and his grandchildren. I love you, my brother. You will be missed by so many. Rest in peace." Regan additionally played on Mick Jagger and David Bowie's 1985 single, Dancing in the Street, and the Rolling Stones' Winning Ugly. Rush's Geddy Lee has announced an official title and a release date for his previously teased memoir. It's called My Effin' Life, and it's set for release on November 14th. The band tweeting out a picture of the book's front cover, a vintage photo of Geddy Lee with the message, "More soon." Back in September of 2021, Geddy Lee informally announced the then untitled autobiography, calling it, quote, "an epic-length account of his life on and off the stage." In an Easter Sunday message, Ghost announced a new EP called Phantomime. It's being released on May 18th. The 5-track release consists of covers paying homage to the eccentric band's varied influences. The selections include See No Evil by Television, Hanging Around by the Stranglers, Phantom of the Opera by Iron Maiden, We Don't Need Another Hero, Thunderdome by Tina Turner. And the first track to be released is Genesis's 1992 track, Jesus, He Knows Me. The band is no stranger to covers, having previously tackled material by ABBA, The Beatles, Depeche Mode, Rocky Erickson, The Eurythmics, Metallica, and the Pet Shop Boys. In a new interview with USA Today, The Who frontman Roger Daltrey was asked if there were any plans for the band to tour the U.S. again. He responded, quote, "Nothing at the moment. I don't know if we'll ever come back to tour America. There is only one tour that we could do, an orchestrated quadrophenia to round out the catalog. But that's one tall order to sing that piece of music, as I'll be 80 next year. I never say never, but at the moment, it's very doubtful." He added, touring has become very difficult since COVID. We cannot get insured, and most of the big bands doing arena shows, by the time they do their first show and rehearsals and get the staging and crew together, all the buses and hotels, you're upwards of $600,000 to $1 million in the hole. To earn that back, if you're going to do a 12-show run, you don't start to earn it back until the 7th or 8th show. That's just how the business works. The trouble now is that if you get COVID after the first show, you've lost that money. Pink Floyd drummer Nick Mason has long served as the intermediary between the singer and guitarist David Gilmour and the singer and bassist Roger Waters. And despite years of drama, he said he's still tempted to reunite the band properly and get Waters back in the mix. Gilmour recently called Waters a misogynistic, anti-Semitic Putin apologist, while Waters has taken to re-recording Pink Floyd's legendary Dark Side of the Moon without the rest of the band. But in a recent interview, Nick Mason said he wouldn't rule out a reunion, saying, quote, "You never know what will be thrown up. I'm tempted to say I'm available for anything." Actor Timothée Chalamet will do his own singing in the upcoming biopic about one of the most iconic musicians of all time, Bob Dylan. The film, which has been years in the making and does not currently have a title, will reportedly focus on Dylan's early life, specifically when he famously swapped his acoustic guitar for an electric guitar, a move that was met with both criticism and celebration. In a recent interview with Collider, director James Mangold was asked if Chalamet was going to sing in the movie rather than having Dylan's voice dubbed over. He enthusiastically replied, "Of course." And that's your sit rep. For more details on all of the stories, check the links in the show notes of this episode. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie Podcast. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. Episode 148, featuring Dave Perner from Soul Asylum, is available now.
Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band are back on the road in 2023, and Setlisting Bruce is joining the Pantheon Podcast family. I'm Jesse Jackson, and since 2015, I've been talking to Bruce Springsteen fans from around the world, allowing them to tell their stories about how Bruce's music has been a good companion on their life's journey. If you love music, if you love good stories, please check out the podcast and listen to our conversations about music fandom, not only for Bruce, but for many other musicians as well. Remember, it's no sin to be glad you're alive.